Hi, I'm Dr. Joel Fuhrman, a board-certified family physician and nutritional researcher who specializes in preventing and reversing disease through nutritional and natural methods. I'm here to talk about nutrition for mental health, because it's very, very important, because people don't know when they lose their memory, when they develop anxiety, when they become depressed, they don't realize that nutrition played a strong role in that. The consumption of sweets, especially commercially baked goods, like products made with white flour, are linked in a dose-dependent manner to rate of depression and risk of developing depression. That means the more bagels and croissants and cookies and cakes and bread that you eat, the higher your risk of depression. Likewise, the more green vegetables you eat and the more nuts and seeds you eat, you reduce your risk of depression. And what also plays a role in development of depression is vitamin D deficiency. And in the northern climates, people are indoors or working indoors or fully covered with clothing, and they can be vitamin D deficient. So if you're not getting sufficient sunshine to have adequate vitamin D level, maintain that vitamin D level between 30 and 50. That's the maximum, that's the range for optimal health. And for some of us who are not out in the sun or don't live in a warm climate, taking about 2,000 IUs of vitamin D is important. To prevent depression, it's also important to have adequate amount of these beneficial omega-3 fatty acids in the body and in your brain, commonly called fish oil, DHA and EPA. But today's society, even vegans can get adequate EPA and DHA from two ways. One, by eating walnuts, flax seeds, and chia seeds, because we can convert that ALA into the longer chain fats, EPA and DHA, and by taking an algae oil supplement that gives us EPA and DHA, even a small amount. A recent study was done following 166 vegans who were not supplementing with EPA and DHA. And interestingly, about 60% were insufficient and about 20% were deficient out of this group. And we found that those that were insufficient or deficient did not correlate with the amount of flax seeds or walnuts they were consuming, meaning the differences were made based on genetic differences in conversion enzymes. So some people do need to take supplements conservatively, especially if they're on a flexitarian or neo-vegan diet, not consuming fish, because we want people to have that full complement of dietary excellence so they don't get depression. Nutritional excellence gives us the ability to prevent depression. It also gives us the ability to treat depression nutritionally so people do not become dependent on drugs for depression. Because over the years, dependency on drugs could lead to the fact of, it leads to their dependency on serotonin uptake inhibitors, so they can't get off the drugs. Whenever they try to come down, they get depressed again. We want to, as much as possible, reduce people's dependency on medications by supplying them with optimal nutrition before they get dependent on those drugs. Let me review what I just told you. I said your diet has to be rich in a variety of plant produce. You have to avoid sweets, high glycemic carbohydrates, and commercial baked goods, which are linked to depression. Exercise, morning light, which helps the melatonin-serotonin axis, vitamin D, EPA and DHA supplementation, and a nutritarian diet. And zinc. Zinc deficiency is also linked to depression in some studies as well. If you are depressed right now, or you have a history of depression, and you want to prevent future episodes, then it makes sense to take a little higher dose of EPA, so of DHA and EPA with a higher EPA component than we would generally consume if a person, just for prevention. We can dramatically help people from being depressed, improve their emotional outlook on life, and give them enthusiasm and optimism and excitement about life when they eat a diet that protects their future health. Thanks for listening, and hoping you a long and happy life.